father would follow. We had heard that there were merchant ships in Falmouth harbour, and went down to speak with them. There had been a wild storm to the south of us, and many battered ships had found their way into Falmouth harbour. As was usual when that happened, then, inevitably, men deserted their ships. For some, it was because their purses were full, and for others, because they had suffered enough at the hands of a precocious and unforgiving sea. The captains were hiring, and as usual, it was the Infanta Inn that they used. It was the largest in Falmouth, and had rooms for the richer captains. As we trudged down to Falmouth, my father explained. "Some captains are very successful, Tom. They choose the right cargoes and manage to evade the pirates to bring them to port just when the prices are at their highest. Others choose the wrong cargo, and return to find that they're so low in value that for many of the goods they have brought, they get virtually nothing for them. The better cargoes come from exotic places which are farther away. Africa and the Indies are the best, but Africa is plagued with Barbary pirates, and Spain protects the Indies. I want a rich captain. He need not dress well, but he will have a good sword, and he will like fine food and drink. When at sea, sailors eat and drink poorly, so that when they return, those that are rich enjoy themselves. You keep quiet in the inn and watch. Your lessons in becoming a good gunner begin this day." That day, I saw a performance by my father. We had both dressed in our best. We wore good hose, and my father's doublet was well made. He also had the best of boots, and we both had fine hats upon our heads. We had little money left, now that we had paid for the falconet, but we were dressed well, and we ate the best of food. My father used the money to his mind wisely, and he was convinced that we would soon be hired. Due to the presence of so many ships, the town was full. William Wotton, the landlord of the Infanta Inn, had hired a couple of men to guard the door and keep out those whose purses were not full enough. Both local men, they knew my father and nodded. "Morning, John. Is there a cockfighting there?" My father laughed. He was used to such events, but he was a large man, as big as the two men who were there to keep us out. "I will get their attention." We pushed our way through the noisy gathering. It was like a hanging day. Instead of heading to where they sold the drinks, my father pushed his way to the centre of the room and, putting his hands on his hips, used the voice which I came to realize could be heard above a howling gale in a wild sea. "Gentlemen, your attention!" To emphasize his words, he stamped hard on the wooden floor with his sea boots, and the crack was like thunder. The whole enormous room went silent. He smiled as he spoke. "I'm John the Falconet, and I served in Henry Tudor's navy until I fell foul of a man not fit to be a gong scourer or leech collector." They were the worst two jobs that anyone could have, and showed the contempt my father had for the captain. "I now have my own falconet, and, as I'm the finest of gunners, then any captain who hires me is buying the best. I will entertain offers from any captain who wishes to hire me, my falconet, and my son. I shall be at the table by the window." The fact that there were two men seated there did not worry my father. As he strode toward the table, both of them nodded, and then vacated the table, rather than risking a confrontation with this most famous of brawlers. He sat and waited. The noise soon rose to its previous level. We did not have long to wait, and a thin-faced captain came over with a jug of ale and a beaker for my father. He poured the ale and said, "I am Captain William Coverdale, and I have a fine vessel, a carrack, the Maid of White. I would like to hire you, and I will pay you well." My father looked at the man's sword, which even I could see was cheap, and his badly made boots, and, after drinking half of the ale, said, "No. For you are a cheap man. Your sword and the fact that you do not offer my son an ale show that. Be gone." The man flushed, and as those on the nearby tables had heard, fled to the sound of laughter. My father dismissed another three with equal alacrity. All were for differing reasons, and none as rude as the one afforded to Captain Coverdale. I wondered if we would ever find one which was suitable. I was enjoying the day, for I had enjoyed 3 small ales as well as a dish of fried limpets, brought as an inducement by one captain. I had noticed One-Eyed Peter, for he wore no patch over his damaged orb, and the scarred evidence of some nautical battle drew my attention. I was young, and such things fascinated me. The maimed men who begged in the streets